The Laughing Vampire, one of my favorite manga that I really love. Maru, the mangaka, has done a great job drawing this and include a lot of details that most of you didn't notice. Talking about it sounds interesting for me and I hope it's the same for you, and for that reason I'm here. Of course you may have noticed some of the hidden messages and references, but there are definitely many things you didn't. To talk about everything in a good pace, I decided to divide the video into two parts, and everything I mention is in the manga's order. For this video, I decided to get the help of a YouTuber I really like, who also does some videos on Eroguro, so I can get his opinion on things I look for, so he can help me with what he already knows about the manga and of course with the research. First thing I'm gonna talk about is just an additional information which is about the old lady Onna Rokuda, who was seen as an onibaba. In the Japanese mythology, it is an old woman who turned into a monster as a result of karma and resentment. There are also some stories of her eating a fetus from a pregnant woman, which we see her interested in and doing in the manga. When the old lady was looking for Miro to turn him into a vampire, she had a table, over it a tarot deck and other related items, but the table's cover had a star on it, which piqued my interest. With some research, I ended up finding out that it actually is the occultist and magician Eliphas Levi's pentagram. This greatest occultist of the 19th century considered this pentagram to be a symbol of the microcosm or human.
These sack-like masks Mori and Luna wear at times, well, one kid compares it to the Elephant Man, which is a reference to Joseph Merrick, a man born with unusual deformities that led him to live a life as a freak show exhibit, who would be a phenomenon in the medical world during the late 1800s. His life was made popular in modern times due to the 1980 David Lynch film Elephant Man, where we can see Joseph often hiding his face with some sort of burlap sack. We have real-life painting found in the manga. This creepy image here, it always kind of freaked me out, but this is a direct replica of the 1898 painting by Swiss artist Arnold Böcklin titled The Plague. Böcklin was known for his nightmarish depictions and, well, death riding through town, representing some sort of plague killing the townsfolk. It kind of makes you wonder what kind of bizarre nightmares Böcklin had to get this type of inspiration.
After that, we see the kid dreaming about the Isle of Death, which is also a drawing by Arnold. He himself provided no public explanation as to the meaning of the painting, though he did describe it as a dream picture. Maybe it being a dream picture and him looking at a plague drawing kind of used to a death nightmare. In the first tarot reading, we see the Three of Swords tarot card, which he holds in the upright stand. Its meaning online says, when the Three of Swords turns up in a tarot reading, it signals that you are feeling deeply hurt and disappointed. Your heart has been pierced by the sharp blades of others' hurtful words, actions, and intentions, and they have inflicted intense emotions of pain, sadness, grief, and heartbreak. These events are often unexpected and come out of the blue, making them even more painful. And the good news is that this painful season will pass, which is in our case true. What happened to him in school made him frustrated. Him turning into a vampire came out of nowhere, and we see her convincing him how good sucking blood feels, which he actually did like. The Death Tarot card, which is also held upright, stands for a sudden change, which refers obviously to him becoming a vampire. The Devil Doll poster shown in one of the cinemas help us know the timeline of the story. This movie was released in May 1937 in Japan, so we can say everything we are reading is around that year, since it's airing. This horror movie has nothing to do with vampires, so I don't know if it relates to the manga some way, cause I haven't seen it. Okay, that may have sounded interesting for some, but sadly, Nighttime and me actually found out that it is wrong. As I'm showing here, the newspaper says 1998. It is really confusing since they look really old-fashioned, like around the 30s and 40s. Another confusing thing here is the date. Henry writes in his notebook. Listen to how mind-blowing this is. We checked the dates. He noted Wednesday 28th July, which corresponds to the year 1937, and the same thing with April 16th, which is a Friday as well, in 1937. It is crazy, I know, but the newspaper really should be the right answer.
It's confusing when trying to piece together the manga's timeline with our own real-life timeline, but I think it could be a situation where the world in the manga is different from our own world. There's different events, and maybe technology never really advanced as much.
The clown going around being nice to Luna. The only thing Nightmist and me could think of is that he looks really similar to the serial killer John Wayne Gacy, who used to dress as a clown. As we can see, they have the same makeup and both wear a hat. The only difference is that in the manga he has a spiral, which is a reference to Uzumaki, the manga by Junji Ito. Well, obviously that's a joke. Anyways, I tried to find some similarities of the serial killer in the manga. For example, things he said or how he died, but nothing that I could find. So we think Maru just modeled the physical appearance on him. Luna having a nightmare about crows or ravens. This will be a bit complicated if I explain it at once, so I will divide it into parts. So seeing crows in general has a bad meaning and indicates that something bad is gonna happen. Usually they are a sign for death, life changes and bad luck. At first, she dreams about a group of crows in the sky. Such a dream is usually a bad sign, signifying the death of someone in your family or someone close to you and being invited to a funeral. This may indicate what happened in the end, when the old lady who was seen as her mother died in front of her. Also, her dreaming about a crow flying downwards. If you saw a crow flying downwards in your dream, such a dream may indicate bad things happening soon in your life, which explains the rape scene with Mr. Clown. To be honest, explaining dreams is really hard since it depends on many situations. I'm not an expert, I just did a bit of research and found those relate a bit to the manga and were a hint for us for the things I said earlier. It also depends on the resources Maru had at that time, so we can't know how he thought about it. Plus, we shouldn't forget it's his fiction, he can also do small changes. Luna imagining herself eaten by a spider and seeing a spider drone multiple times.
My theory on this is that a spider is kind of like a vampire, the way they lure and trap their prey. But then a spider's web can be very symbolic too. Luna always feels stuck in her life, kind of like she's stuck in a spider's web, sucking her life away.
Henmi lives in the 4th floor, which is an unlucky number in Japan, and it means death. As you can see here, the 4 is highlighted before him entering his apartment, and I will explain the 11th point, what happened that chapter. Later, in another chapter, Suehiro shows the apartment's floor numbers again before him leaving, and Henmi ends up dying the same day, which is probably a way of him hinting us to how unlucky that number is, and telling us he's going to die this day. Henmi is Soto wearing a shirt, written on it, heaven, and having a nightmare about being surrounded by skulls while drowning in the lake. This was a hint for him going to die, and the way of how he's gonna die. Dreaming about skulls means the fear of something. Here it is the fear of death, since his mom mentioned that to him, and all of this happened after Suehiro showed us the number 4 highlighted. Finding out about these pieces of information did take us a lot of time. We really did our best to solve everything that looked important, but there are also these non-important things that I have seen which may sound interesting. For example, Kangiten or Kanjiten was generally considered the Japanese Buddhist form of the Hindu god of wisdom, Ganesha. I really was surprised that Japan has Ganesha as well. We also see a Coca-Cola ad and later a Sony ad while Henmi is watching TV. I hope you liked this video and my first collab. I'm really happy that I did it with Nightmare Society, who is a great YouTuber that you definitely should check. Thanks a lot, really appreciate you joining me. There will be a similar video about the second volume for sure, since it also has several interesting details that you guys may not know. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to both of us, it really helps a lot, and see you hopefully soon. Bye.